Welcome to another Grey Hack video. In this video we're going to look at hacking when the LAN IP of the target is not the main router. So we will have to hack our way deeper inside the network in order to complete the mission. And I found such a mission here. So this is the public IP, and if you look at the LAN IP you can see that it's not 192, 168, 1 or 0. It's something completely different, and that indicates that it's a more advanced mission, probably because we're going to have to hack deeper inside the network. So the first thing we're going to do is just nmap the IP, see what we have. And this network has one open port. Previously I've said that the closed port on SQL servers did not mean anything, and that has now changed. So now closed actually means closed. And so the SQL servers are by default always closed. I don't think they can be opened even. So if you see an employee or SQL server, that means you will have to gain access to the network in order to hack this service right here. The same thing is now true for the port 8080 on the routers. Those are also closed now, so you cannot access them from outside the network. But we have an HTTP server here, a service, so we can try to hack that. The tool we're going to use for the hacking today is my tool shellweb, and I have videos for how to create shellweb on your own. I will link that in the description. You can also find shellweb on the BTC shop and buy it from me if you don't want to build it yourself. Yeah, so let's run shellweb on port 80. We need the IP, of course, like so. Okay, that's good. It found shell, and it found the root password. And it also deciphered the root password for us. If you want that, then you will have to put in bin, you will have to put my decipher script that you can also find a video on or buy from the BTC shop. If you put decipher in here, then it will auto decipher the password, root password for you. So now that we have root access on the first server, we can open a file explorer. Actually, we did not even need to do the root deciphering because we got a root shell. Otherwise, we would have had to sudo s with the root password, but we don't even need that. So we grab the file explorer and we're just going to root, which is the folder we're in, and we're going to need a few different things on here to hack deeper inside the network. One tool that might be nice to have for that is the scanlan. With this tool we will be able to see the network, and we have two buttons up here, show subnet. This will show the color code, so all the computers that are connected to the same router, which is one subnet, is going to have the same color. You can also show the local IPs, and if you look at the local IPs of the same color, you will see that they are the same except for the last number. So you have like 5, 10, 0, 19, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All of these are the same, and the one, usually at least, the one that ends with a 1 is the router. I think that should always be the case, but there are exceptions like this one. It ends with a 4 instead, even though it's a router. So here you can see the 1 is actually a computer instead. And you can also see which computer you are connected to. So, see here, go up here again. You can see that the LAN IP of the open port was actually a computer deep within the system. There were no open ports for any of the computers connected to the main router. So deep within the system, we can find the subnet that we are connected to. This is the router we are connected to. And at the top is the main router, right here. And the computer is connected to that router, so that's this subnet right here. And at the moment, you might not get that much information out of this. But in the future, there are going to be like firewalls and other ways that the networks are going to be blocked off. And then it's going to be helpful to see where the blockades are, and also potential access points that you can hack onto from within the network. So the target we are looking for is 19.3, which is this subnet right here. So we are looking for a light green computer. So it's this one, I think, 10.0.19.3. What you can do, or will maybe have to do in the future, I don't think there are any. There will not be any blockades at the moment. But if there are firewalls and such that are going to be introduced in the future, you can use a ping simulation and ping from this computer right here to the computer you're connected to see if there's anything blocking the path, which there isn't. So it goes from my computer to my router, and then from my router to the main router, and then down to the router of the target, and then down to the target itself, this computer right here. So that's the path the signal took to ping between these two. I think we will leave the scanlan for now. Another tool that we want to use is the nmap. So now that we are inside the network, we can nmap the LAN IP, and that shows us that there is a SQL port, and like I said previously, those are always closed, but we are on the network now, so therefore I mean, those are always closed to the outside of the network. But since we are inside the network, we can actually hack this SQL port. One thing to note here is that if we were to nmap this LAN IP from outside the network, it's going to say address unreachable. If I just open scanlan on my router, on my proxy server, you can see that on this network there are only one router and one computer, my computer. So therefore it doesn't have a 10.0.19.3, and it therefore can't find it. But on this network it exists, and therefore that's why nmap could find it and That's the difference between scanning a local LAN IP from outside the network and scanning it from inside the network. Okay, so we have a target and we have a open port. I think we will try to use shellweb to hack this. So just like when we hacked into the this computer right here, we're just going to use shellweb, so we have to transfer it to the computer we're on. So we're also going to need meta-exploit. If you want the root password cracked automatically, you will need to put decipher in the bin folder of the computer that you're running it from, and I'm not going to do that now. So if it finds the root password, it's just going to print the MD5 hash to the terminal, and then we can crack it on our own computer instead. But you can also transfer that, and then you will also need the crypto .so in the library folder. Okay, so let's try to shellweb. And now we're not going to target the public IP. Instead, we're going to target the local IP and the port. And as you can see now, the speed of the cracking is much slower because we're not running it on our home server that has upgraded hardware. It takes a bit longer to scan the library. Okay, so that's unfortunate. It says insufficient amount of port forwards to the target. A bunch of those actually. So what I think we're going to do, we're going to open a browser, and then we're going to go into the main router. I'm not yeah, there's something here I haven't tested before actually, so we'll have to figure it out together, I guess. But let's just do ifconfig. So this is the public IP, this is our IP that we are on, and this is the gateway to our IP. Now I'm not sure if we need to add the ports in the gateway or if we can add them in the main router. I think I'm going to add them in the main router first and see what that does. So the main router is either, well, 192.168. either 1 or 0, and then .1, then colon 8080, that's the port 8080. I don't remember if it's 1 or 0, so we can just try 1. Okay, it's not 1, then it's 0. So you don't actually need to open scanlan or some other program to check this, you can just guess, and one of them is going to be correct. So we're just going to add ports here to the target, which was this computer right here. Now, since this is a SQL server, even if we did whoops, nope, like so, 4 of them. Even if we did port forward this, which we will actually, I'm going to show that. Even if we do port forward it, 3306, we're still not going to be able to hack this from outside the network. Okay. So now there are 4 port forwards to the target. We can just check that with nmap. No, we can't, not from outside the network. Let's just do nmap on the public IP. See if the ports show up, and they do. There are now 4 ports on this port forwarded to this computer, and we also port forwarded the SQL port. It actually shows it as open. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we can attack it from outside the network. We will have to try that. I want to try that now. Shellweb port 3. Okay, so that's interesting. SQL ports can actually be open. So if it says closed, then we have to be on the local network to hack it. But if it says open, then we can hack it from outside the network. It still says insufficient amount of port forwards to the target, which is strange. I don't think that we need more than 4 port forwards, so I'm gonna try to add the port forwards to the router gateway router instead. See if that does anything. One, 2. Could be that I'm doing something wrong. The system is fairly new. It could also be some kind of bug. And then 3306 on that one, just for good measure. And then we will just try it again, I guess. Nope. How about on here? Shellweb. What we can do, just to check, so you could run, you could get the library and then run scanlib that you can find in the hack shop on it. But that's going to take a bit longer, so instead of running scanlib, I'm just going to run my own program that has the same feature built in, and then we can just port 3, right? You just use that to, yeah, that's not the correct IP. This is the IP. And then we can just see if it requires more port forwards, but I don't think it's going to need more than 4 of them. Kind of strange. So the SQL port that we're looking for is this one. And requires 3 port forwards 1 1 3 2 1 2 3. So we clearly are we have fulfilled that requirement, and it still isn't working, which makes me think that it's maybe bugged. I think it's bugged. So if everything was working as normally, then you would have been able to just add the port forwards either in the main. Well, okay, let's try one more thing. We're gonna keep these. Let's see if they're still there. Yeah, they're still there. And then we're gonna go to the main router again. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Really interesting. The ports were removed. But they weren't removed when we did the hack, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to connect at all. So I think it's still the case that the port forwards did not work. Some kind of bug in there. To complete the mission, I guess we can just use the computer. Okay, wait. We could like get a. I don't remember which one is easiest. Active root is probably best. Yeah, let's try that. So we're just gonna do. Instead of using the port forwards to get the requirements filled, I'm just gonna pretend like we did that and instead fill them with something else. So I'm just gonna do admin online. Maybe the admin is online, and that was why. Let's try to run it one more time. While we wait, we can prepare the email we want to send. So admin online. Then we're just gonna pretend like that was what we did. Okay, the admin is online. I didn't have to do this. We did find the root password, but okay, you actually do need decipher in the bin folder in order to see what the hash is. So that's something to keep in mind. Otherwise, it's just gonna print an error instead. But okay, I was gonna put the admin online manually, but he logged in and removed our port, so now we can complete the mission. Oh wow, I'm being traced here. We have a little while. I'm using a few proxies. Yeah, there's a root admin online here. So we needed the login credentials of, who was it? Any users. Okay, we don't have to be stealthy either, so we'll just do cat etc password, and here we go. Here is the root password, and we can just use the decipher that we made in the other video, like this. And here we have the root password. And grab the user as well. Perfect. What we will do now is we're going to, I don't know if we can just delete the log. Shell. No, we can't. So we will have to sudo. And grab the root password. Now we can use the log viewer, remove our shell, like so, and now we can exit the server. And that canceled the trace. So I don't know if we have someone on here as well. Yeah, there's a root user on here as well, but he's not tracking us at the moment, so that's nice of him. Unless there are two traces going on at once. I don't think that's the case, but let's just open another admin. Okay, admin logged on, but it's not tracing us at the moment. So what we will do now is just gonna clean the system. We're gonna remove. So even if the requirements doesn't say that we have to be stealthy, we should always try to do that anyways. So we're gonna remove the myth exploit. We're gonna remove the shellweb, and we're gonna remove nmap, and we're gonna remove scanlock. And now we just open the log viewer, and we just delete all of this, and we only leave the connection established, and then we exit, and now we're back on our home system, and now we can reply to the email. One right here. Okay, you shouldn't open the mail on your server like I did here. I guess it's fine for now. We're just gonna reply with root, and you can use any of the passwords and the password, and the customer is satisfied. So had the admin not logged in there, we would have had to use social engineering, get him online manually instead. But I guess we had a bit of luck there, and he logged on just when we needed him. Especially since the port forwarding did not seem to work, which was strange. Let's just go to config and remove, close this. Bad practice to leave your mail laying around, or even to accidentally create it like I just did. Yeah, I think that's a good introduction to more advanced hacking in networks, where you need to go deeper inside them to complete them. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.